Hello StarCraft fans, this is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Freak and CrimsonFinch on Orbital Shipyard. In the top side of the map we have the red Protoss player, it is Freak. And in the bottom side of the map we have the blue Protoss player, it is CrimsonFinch. So this is a PvP between Team Ascension players that was sent to me by a member of Team Ascension. I won't tell you which one because I don't want to spoil who wins this game. Alright, so PvP is generally speaking, let's see, Immortals and Stalkers, and sometimes there are Disruptors and sometimes there are Tempests, which is a lot better than the days of Wings of Liberty when it was just who could get the most Colossus or who could forgate the fastest. So in Legacy of the Void I feel like PvP is pretty darn interesting. And thank you so much for watching this, and let's see what's going on. So opening up double assimilator with one gateway. And, oh, I don't have my names. There's my name. Oh, how silly. And a double assimilator with one gateway here as well for our red Protoss player. So we'll have to wait and see where we diverge here on our builds, because right now they look pretty similar. There's a pylon coming out earlier for CrimsonFinch. And that seems like a reference to something, doesn't it? Like a Crimson Chin. That's from the Fairly OddParents. That's the superhero that Timmy is a fan of. Fairly OddParents is actually still running. Did you know that? Did you know that? I actually saw a thing talking about when different TV shows have peaked, when they've jumped the shark. And Fairly OddParents is still running. They argued it jumped the shark like 3 or 4 seasons ago, so which is kind of sad. But holy smokes, that I watched that back in 2007, 2008. I liked it a lot. Like, my kids are too young for it, but I would watch it anyway. There was some good stuff back in those days. Don't really watch the cartoons anymore. Too much StarCraft, too much other video gaming going on. Too much TV in general to keep track of. Wow, I'm going through Season 2 of Daredevil right now. I'm also trying to get through Bravest Warriors. Have you watched Bravest Warriors? If you're a fan of Adventure Time, Bravest Warriors is by the same guy, Pendleton Ward. It's all on YouTube, so it's totally free. I'll put a link up here to Bravest Warriors, but go check that out. Like, there are about 30 episodes, about 5 minutes each, so it doesn't take a whole long to get through all of them. I watched a whole bunch with my wife the other night and just had a great time. So funny. And Catbug is my frigging hero. Alright, so both players do have that cybernetic score and a Twilight Council, a proxy Twilight Council here for CrimsonFinch. Trying to hide the tech. I wonder if that's a DT rush or if that possibly is just a Blink Stalker type attack. Either way, there's a scouting probe here for Freak, trying to check things out and see what tech can be spotted. The Stalker does not see that there. CrimsonFinch is getting a Nexus before Freak is getting his. So Freak is worried about proxy tech back here for some reason. That's where he sent his Adepts. Oh, here we go. And actually using the Tal'Darim skin. Or is this a Purifier skin? Now I can't tell them apart. I know what they are, though. Tal'Darim and Purifier. Let me know in the comments that I'm an idiot and which one they actually are. I don't play Protoss. I don't know how this works. I don't see the skins enough to remember. So scouting right on through. Okay, so Freak says, I don't see any tech here. There are gateways. There has to be something going on. And yep, indeed there is. There's tech. There's a Dark Shrine. So it's a DT rush. And a proxy DT rush at that from CrimsonFinch. The Adepts come walking right on in. There is nothing to defend against this but a single Stalker. One Stalker might be enough to kill these eventually, but in the meantime, so many probes are going to die. That's the problem here for CrimsonFinch. Freak is absolutely ripping through these probes. Is there a photon overcharge available for the Mothership Core? There are 2, but there's actually not a pylon in range quite yet. There is one now, but choosing not actually to use the energy there, and instead just take it out with the regular attack and the Stalker, saving up the energy for something else. And wow, that's a lot of dead workers there. How many workers have been killed? Oh, I wish it would tell me. But 14 workers have been killed, or 14 units have been killed so far, and I think that's all probes. Have any other units died here for CrimsonFinch? I don't think so. So it's 27 to 14 total harvesters. That Adept attack totally caught CrimsonFinch with his pants down, but he is counting on this proxy tech to work for him. Gateway transforming into a warp gate. So going to see some DTs here eventually. Freak, do you have anything that can see DTs? Do you have a forge? No. Do you have a robotics facility? No. No, you do not. Here comes an Oracle sneaking on in, trying to do some damage too. There are no workers here because obviously not enough workers to actually transfer over. But here comes the Oracle. Run, probes, run. There's the photon overcharge chasing away the Oracle. But oh, from the other side too. Finds the sweet spot. Finds the sweet spot, this Oracle does. And is killing so many workers. This Stalker trying to kill it. No, can't get there in time. The Oracle survives with like 10 hit points and has 7 kills to its name. Probe heading on back. Oh, did Freak scout this? No, No, Freak has a probe about 3 inches away from this tech here, these tech buildings. No idea. Meanwhile, DTs are right here, taking out this pylon, depowering the Stargate, forcing all of the probes to run away to long distance mine in the time being. What is being built? How? There's the robotics facility for Freak. Where's the robot facility? Where is it? The DTs need to find it and kill it eventually. There it is. Actually depowering it. Very smart indeed. Canceling that probe or pylon before it dies immediately. More probes are dying here though. There's the revelation. The revelation on top of the DTs. That lasts for 40 seconds. It actually makes them visible and lifting up one of the DTs too. What a clutch play with that Phoenix. Yeah. Oh, revelation. Revelation is not worn off. It is so long. And that's the hold. Freak holds it. Wow, so good, great use of revelation on that Oracle. Great use of lifting with the graviton beam from the Phoenix, taking it out there. That revelation lasts for, what, 43 seconds, which is a long, long time in StarCraft 2 time. So basically, another TT comes in, but I think Freak held that as possibly as well as you can, considering there wasn't actually a observer around. So here we go again, lifting the DT. You don't see that animation very much. He's kind of squirming around. Leave me alone, guys. Blah, and he ends up dead. Another DT comes in here, absolutely trying to make sure an observer never, ever comes out. I don't think there is one. What Freak? No, you really should make an observer. Okay, there's the hack. There's the hack. And one more for the depower. There's the depower. The revelation is up, though. So the DT is alive, but not for long. I don't think I've ever seen Phoenix Oracle being used against DTs before. This is kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Still continuing with the DTs is CrimsonFinch. He absolutely wants this to happen. Wants to make it happen. Scouting on down. Okay, so sees the tech. Can't do anything about it. These stalkers can, though. The stalkers are very, very good at killing buildings. The DT is trying to save his base and actually does manage to drive this little force off. Is there not enough energy for revelation here on the Oracles? No. Now there is. Now there's enough. So coming back in a defensive position, which makes a lot more sense. Oh, the DT. One up here trying to take down that pylon again. Can't quite do it. Observer popping on up there. Getting rid of some probes down here is this DT. But what this is doing is this is allowing CrimsonFinch to just kind of hang out and macro up. CrimsonFinch is now up 40 to 15 harvesters. So he lost a huge number of workers in the early part of the game there, but made some DTs. Forced Freak to sit inside his own base for a while, defending, losing workers, spending money on Phoenix and Oracles and things he didn't necessarily really want to do in PvP. And in the meantime, CrimsonFinch is up. He has 2 fully saturated bases. He's going to lose all this tech, which is a bit of a problem here, but what's he going to move on into is what I want to know. Is he going to get a robotics facility at all? I don't see one here. He hasn't really chosen a tech path. He's been spending his money fairly well. All this stuff is going to die. CrimsonFinch has basically allowed that to go. There's an observer here with Freak's army. He's not worried about DTs anymore. There is a couple of Oracles swinging around this left side and a proxy pylon here from Freak too. This game is nuts. This is non-stop action. All right, so there's an Archon, which means there is a Templar Archive somewhere. What the what? All right, the Oracles come right on in here using that Pulsar Beam ability, and goodbye, workers. You're absolutely getting massacred. No static defense at all here. Not even any pylons. CrimsonFinch, how did you forget pylons? All right. The Oracles are swinging right on through. Photon Overcharge is used a little bit of effect there and able to kill it. Yes, does kill the second one there as well. All these buildings are going to die. This is a proxy gateway swinging on up there. Where is the... Orbital. Is that going to show me? No, I don't know what's happening here. All right, so the Stalker is moving on down south. There's that gateway mixed into a third Nexus on the way for CrimsonFinch. If he can hold this with Archons and Stalkers and Zealots, I'm going to be very impressed because these Stalkers are looking pretty darn scary indeed. They're ranged. They do pretty darn well against most of the things that CrimsonFinch has. Another attack here. So many workers, so many probes dying in this game. It is an absolute probe massacre. CrimsonFinch not doing a great job actually getting his probes out of there, out of the range of where they need to be or where they want to be. Archon does get a bit of a splash damage shot off there. Photon Overcharge, not enough to actually kill that Phoenix, and here comes Freak feeling very strong indeed, moving right on up here with the Stalkers. Do they have Blink? I don't think they have Blink. They don't. They're not Blink Stalkers, which makes them a little bit less effective against these Archons, but still The stutter step micro is a possibility. Losing one stalker there, taking out a couple units from CrimsonFinch as well. The dance is real, and the Phoenix stays a little bit too long. Does get sniped out of the air there. Mothership Core, maybe throwing some pylons up here, if at all possible, would be nice from CrimsonFinch. But both players are just kind of hanging out right now. Nobody really wants to commit. Freak's moving on up there, but taking huge shots. Archon moving away, doesn't want to die. One more blow. Yes, the Archon does get taken down. That was very nicely played indeed. Mothership Core sniped down too. Freak displaying some very nice micro on the Stalkers despite the lack of blink. There is an Immortal mixed in here for CrimsonFinch. Where the heck is his tech? There's the robotics facility. All right. All right. Moving on up here again are the Stalkers. Oh, okay, I know what he did. He made Archons with the DTs. I always forget you can do that. I am such a bad Protoss player. Okay, that explains that mystery. So Stalker versus Stalker here. For all the craziness in the first couple of minutes of this game, it is going to come down to Stalker versus Stalker. Any upgrades at all here? No upgrades, and no upgrades for either of these players. An Observer getting mixed in. Oh, Immortal on the high ground, sniping down a few of these Stalkers here too, trying to pick him on up. The Immortal comes in to change the game. And actually does force Freak back. I feel like Freak had that one, but the Immortal snuck on down that ramp, got 3 kills. And I think we're going to be able to do this here. There are Zealots getting warped in for Freak. It's not going to be enough, though. The Zealots are good for absorbing damage. Oh, the Probe's getting pulled off the line. To defend in the situation, too, the Probes then go back to work, but because it is enough to force Freak back, don't lose any workers unnecessarily. There we go. Good micro on display here. Both players doing pretty darn high, over 200 APM at the moment. But man, CrimsonFinch is playing at 347 on the average for the game here. Here comes Freak again, trying to sneak on up. Can we do this? Getting rid of the Phoenix Immortals, standing right on in. The barrier is coming up. One of the Immortals is getting focused down by the Stalkers. There are sentries mixed in too. They do manage to take it down. Oh, but there's another Immortal here for CrimsonFinch, and it's enough again to force Freak back. Freak is trying to do this thing on 2 bases. However, CrimsonFinch has 3. I feel like CrimsonFinch is in too good of a position here for our Freak to break, especially with the Immortals. I don't see any Immortals in production for Freak of his own here. He has some money, but I don't see any production at all going in his production tab. There we go. More Stalkers getting mixed in, but once again, Stalker versus Stalker Immortal. Stalker Immortal is going to win most situations unless you just have way more Stalkers on your side when you don't have any Immortals. Going to try to sneak up here into the main base and actually force field off the ramp. Oh, I think that's what's going to happen here. There's the force field. There's the force field, and now there are Stalkers loose inside the main base, and the army for CrimsonFinch is stuck outside. Why didn't he defend his ramp? Mothership Core, no! You need that Mothership Core, run! Oh, Mothership Core gets sniped on down. Trying to pick off those sentries and actually leaving the ramp there. Not going to continue to force field it off. Some Zealots and some Immortals getting mixed in here too. Pretty good composition against these Stalkers. The Stalkers are all that is left. There are no more sentries available. And here comes Freak, backed into a corner here. A lot of probes actually preventing them from retreating. Pretty good micro on display here from the probes. All of the Stalkers are absolutely going to get killed, and that's it. A rage quit from Freak. CrimsonFinch is victorious, and Freak has left the game. Wow, that was a good one. That was a great PvP. DTs and Immortals and Phoenix and Oracles, Stalkers, Archons, Observers. I mean, so many different units there. So many workers died. So many workers died. I wish I could see that in this old interface, but unfortunately this was played before the latest patch. Anyway, I mean, man, between all the Oracles and the DTs and the Phoenix play, I feel like there are at least 20 probes killed per player, and maybe more than that. If you were counting, let me know in the comments how many there were, but dang, CrimsonFinch. Again, I think what it came down to was lost a lot of those workers to Adepts in the early game, but managed to get the DTs out. Freak was not expecting them. Forced Freak to stay inside his own base and babysit for so long that CrimsonFinch didn't do anything but pump out a couple Dark Templar every few seconds there, and he was able to drone up, get this base up and running and up and established to the point where even though he lost more probes after that, he was okay. I feel like he was in the lead compared to his opponent Freak there for most of the game. So nicely done from Team Ascension today. Just fantastic play indeed. Team Ascension is a pretty good follow on Twitter. If you look up Team Ascension on Twitter, you'll find them. Anyway, a really good organization devoted to StarCraft 2. They have their professional team, they have their amateur team, and just really, really devoted to all levels of this game that we know and love. Okay, so that's it for me. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.